Three things that lead to absolute failure in the crypto market. Why is it that 95% of people who come into the crypto space fail? This is a harsh reality that maybe some people haven't shared with you, but it is true. And once we realize it, it helps us focus in on what things will help us not be part of that statistic. What I'm going to share with you might make some upset. Perhaps some people may hate me. It does not make this less true. My goal with this channel is to attract an audience that will have much higher success rates than normal. I can't do that if I give you rose-colored glasses and don't shoot it straight with you. The failure rate of part-time investors who dabble in this space is incredibly high. But it's so high because of one or all of the three things that can and will eviscerate our dreams of crypto fortunes. So first today, let's discuss what disastrous things we do that lead us right into this mousetrap. As we reach for the cheese, like just literally picture yourself reaching for that cheese, yet finding the cold steel of that trap cutting into our dreams. Well, then let's talk about what successful investors think about and do to navigate the difficult waters that can lead to the financially safe harbor that we're really here for. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain. And if you like money in crypto and you're looking for a seasoned investor's take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family. Do note, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not trying to be your financial advisor. I'm a crypto investor myself. I'm sharing with you these principles that have worked well for me, and they work because the principles are correct. Do note that a lot of the crypto projects I talk about on this channel, I do own or plan to own most of them because I don't talk about crypto projects I don't believe in. For those that are interested, we do have a Patreon channel, and our Patreon members get access to a private Discord. All right, make it rain on that like button and strap in for today's show. Were you aware that the failure rate in crypto is so high? Did you know it's actually even a little bit higher than 95%? Now, what most do that leads them to failure can be broken down into these three things, which when we're aware, that starts us on the journey towards avoiding them. But in truth, I'm going to share these things, and likely if you are new, you're still going to do some of them. And when they go badly for you, because they will, you'll remember this video and then you will cut those actions out of your life. The first thing that we do that leads to devastating results is what I call chasing green candles. We actually all do this when we are new. Some cryptocurrency, essentially it looks like this. Some cryptocurrency is being talked across all these different YouTube channels, and we see it in all these headlines. We see it on Twitter, and oh my gosh, this is the best ever. And it just keeps going up and seems like it will go up forever. We finally feel like we're missing the boat. We get some fear of missing out, and we jump in. When we're new, and let's be real, that 99% of people investing in crypto are new to investing, meaning they have less than 4 years serious experience watching and investing in volatile markets. What do? We effing chase those green candles. We FOMO in on some coin that's already done 20x in the past 2 weeks or months, and we find ourselves with our trigger finger over the buy button, don't we? Don't do this. When you get this impulse, and you will, how do I know that you will? Because I still get it. I've been watching market cycles for 25 years, and I still get that feeling at times. I've just been in long enough. I know I don't do it. So you're still going to get it and feel it. And when you get that feeling, don't do it. You will thank yourself later. Now, sometimes you'll look back because it'll pump from where you would have bought, and then it retraces massively, and you'll think, if I had bought it here and sold here, that's probably not what would have happened. What you would have done is bought, you would have held it too long, and then it would have went below where you were at, and you eventually would have panic sold out. And that's the number one thing that new people do is chasing those green candles, and then they write it down. As humans, we're hunters, and we like to chase. And it's often that which seems like it's getting away from us that we want to catch, right? But the smart hunter lays snares and lets the prey come to them. They wait for crypto projects that have something great about them to have this shine come off of them and for them to fade out of the attention deficit disordered crypto cycle. And the price falls as people panic sell out, or they get scared because they bought the top and they're thinking it's going to go to zero, and then they sell to get into that shiny new object. This happens over and over again. Don't let it happen to you. Patient hunters, they wait for it to come into those low buy zones and execute their buy orders there. All right. That is one of the most important lessons. Lesson number one. Lesson number two, and I hope this sinks in, has to do with meme coins. Meme coins are projects with no utility to the token or no reason that the token is special other than, oh my gosh, it's gonna moon. Dogecoin is essentially a meme coin. Shiba Inu is a meme coin. Even there's a whole bunch of other ones that have done good. SafeMoon, total meme coin. And yeah, I know you've heard some stories that some people made money on those. And it's those stories that drive so many people in there. But let me ask you an important question. What is the difference between investing and gambling? Because isn't it true? We've all heard some stories where somebody gambled and made it big. So what is the difference? Did you come into crypto to invest, or did you come in to gamble? And what is the difference? Is it fair to say investing is where one uses their business acumen to identify which businesses they're interested in investing in, understanding a probability of failure or success, and understanding that using that business acumen, that the odds are in their favor, either in the percent chance that it will be successful or the percent chance that the reward far outweighs the risk. Now, gambling isn't too different in that it has a chance of winning with the risk of losing, but to where the odds are most often against you. More succinctly said, it's a gamified way of you losing your money while giving you some hope of winning. Because meme coins' value is mostly in the hope that others will FOMO into the coin, which doesn't necessarily have utility to it that will make it desirable, then you are relying on what economists call the greater fool theory, in which you will be able to offload the tokens to someone at a much higher price only because they're a greater fool. Personally, I stick with altcoins where there's a use case and a narrative for a project that makes sense to me. This doesn't include meme coins because investing is challenging enough, and even if you invest well, some project teams will fall apart and the project will fail. Somebody will steal from a good company. The project will fail. Investing in meme coins puts the odds so strongly against you, in my opinion, and I don't like that. Smart investors play the odds in their favor, not out of their favor. In meme coins, they're an emotional choice like gambling, where I feel like the odds are more stacked against you than they are for you. The number three thing that can actually devastate our hopes is what I call losing conviction. This can also be said as sheer impatience. Many of my home runs in crypto came after a lot of frustration. I'm a fundamental investor, meaning I invest in projects with what I feel are the right team and the right narrative as to why the token makes sense in a world that doesn't necessarily need more crypto tokens. But because we can't control the markets, often for really good harvest of profits, you often have to wait much longer than you would like to. And this is where most people who successfully made it through the other two hurdles I talked about totally fail. It's like you're playing international football. In the United States, they call it soccer, and you made it past all the other defenders. And you're one-on-one in the goalie, and you're just tired, and you just kind of flub the kick, getting stopped by the goalie, and at the end, you have nothing to show for it. No extra point on the scoreboard, all that work, only to have all those hopes get wiped out. Now, I'll give you some stories about patience and how it played out. Now, I have the advantage. I've been in the crypto space for 5 years now. Thankfully, I had some experience investing in market cycles prior to this that helped my learning curve, though some of these lessons I learned painfully myself. Even with that prior experience, it's frustrating that you would make rookie mistakes like this still, but I did have to make some of them. I just learned from them very quickly because I knew better, even though I did it still. One of my home runs was a project called Engine. Now, this is Engine with a J, and they were one of the leading projects working on this new idea called a non-fungible token, or an NFT, bringing about the standards of NFTs. And they had previously announced some kind of partnership, I think with Sony's phones or something. And I saw their prices soar, and I didn't have any. And I thought, well, crap, I'm not going to FOMO into that. It went like 10x. But I did research a whole bunch of it and looked at it. I was like, okay, yeah, this NFT space makes sense. I like where they're going with this. They seem to be leading that area. Okay. Yeah, but I'm not going to buy now. And I watched, only to watch their prices over time return back to to where they were over the next period of time. And as I was watching them close, I found a point where the hype was completely off of them. No one was talking about them at the time, and yet they were still a leader in the blockchain gaming and NFT space. It's just the ADD of the crypto market was focused on other things, and people were selling the token to roll it into some other shiny object. And I loaded up my bags. And in the following 6 months, actually, they came back into the limelight fairly quick. And then people chasing green candles came flooding in. And I exited my positions as the price went parabolic. That was one win, and that was only 6 months of patience. These other ones will share with you how it's often much longer than that. Another one of my wins was a hugely fudded project that had delay after delay. Its testnet was still not even out, and its mainnet was far from being out, and didn't have staking or anything, even though they had talked about that for forever. And they were already 4 to 5 years in development, and I think their ICO had been 4 years prior. This project, you might recognize their name, but all those things I just said about them might seem like a distant past, or you had never even heard those things. Now, this project was Cardano. I started buying Cardano after it had come down from its early 2018 highs, where it hit almost $1.40 highs, and it came down almost 90%. And I continued buying it all the way to its lows. I think my first purchase was around the 12-cent mark, though it hurt as the price continued to fall more. Realizing really what hurt about it is that I realized I could have gotten way more as the token continued to fall, falling then under 4 cents. But I used that as a sign that I just needed to continue dollar cost averaging more at the lower prices, because I still believed in the future that the founder continued to paint. And though the delays sucked, they made sense to me. As well as it was a bear market, everything was doing poorly. And then the rains came in. And like farmers that had planted their crops, done everything, waited patiently for the rains to come, and then the rains finally came, ADA slowly climbed, topping out at about $3.40. Now, ADA's best days are not behind it. They're ahead of it. And it's going through another one of those pullbacks. The rains will come again. Now, when talking about patience, another one of my wins that took absolutely forever, and I hope these illustrate how long this can take. By forever, it took from January 2019 all the way like 28 months later to March of 2021. Now, over 2 years is a long time in the crypto space, and it feels like a long time. And during that time, it was hard to hold on. I bought land in Axie Infinity's land sale, which started in January 2019. And it took about 10 months to sell out. Did you know that for the total next 20 months, the land on the resale market did absolutely terrible? It went down even cheaper than what I had got it for. So in other words, anyone selling it was selling it at a complete loss, and yet people were selling it at like a 70% discount. That is until the rains came and the harvest was in. And boy, was that harvest good. Another win in one of the first, if not the first, major blockchain card game called Gods Unchained. And for about 2 years, I thought I was going to get totally screwed on this one. Gods Unchained actually like 5x right off the bat. Then it did absolutely terrible for the next 2.5 years. It missed the 2021 run in March because all of the Genesis cards from Gods Unchained were still on the ETH blockchain, meaning it would have cost you about $120 transaction cost on the ETH chain at the time in order to sell a $5 card. So as you can imagine, the cards were near worthless because nobody was going to buy them with that kind of transaction cost. But remember, I'm a fundamental investor. When I'd invest in it, they had a great team. They had fantastic backers, including Coinbase. The team founded their own layer 2, they called Immutable X, as a side chain to run their cards on. And investors in Gods Unchained cards were gifted Immutable X tokens as a thank you. Now, it took 2.5 years. And for a lot of that, I thought probably it was going to be a complete loss. But my $8,000 investment made me $100,000 from the Immutable X and the Gods Unchained tokens that were airdropped. And actually, if I had sold them immediately, it would have been higher than that. And I still have all the cards that I had bought back then, and they're worth about 32 ETH at this point. Now, what would have happened on all of these if I had lost conviction along the way because of impatience? If I had sold at a loss and left, I can tell you 95% of people did. That's the sad part about it. Now, in summary, these 3 things, as you learn to avoid them, will change your results like you can't imagine. As long as you are also picking well-researched projects and buying at lows instead of highs. Now, that doesn't mean sometimes it won't go lower on you. That's part of it. And I tried to illustrate that in these stories because that happened to me too, but it ended very well. You will be amazed at what you can do over a 4-year time frame, and especially over an 8-year time frame. Now, I'll be with you for at least the next close to 4 years of that. Now, beyond that, I make no promises. When I started this channel, I promised you 5 years, and we're a little over a year into this. So, it just is what it is. Now, I realize that there are trading programs out there where they sell you that they're going to teach you to be an expert trader and that everybody's making money on this. And that is not how it happens. What I've seen is that the rate of failure in those kind of systems is so very high. What I share through this channel is a system of how to identify likely good projects, also identify good timing, and then have the mindset to be patient while you let time do the heavy lifting for you. Now, this system isn't for everyone because some want that something flashy where they got to be in there trading every day. They want something that seems sizzling. And I know some channels sell lots of sizzle, but let's compare how their audience does in the coming years versus this audience, because isn't that the true measure of success? Now, the crypto market is slow right now. Just know that good decisions made during these pullbacks lead to life-changing ones when that market turns around, and it will. The rains will come again, and the projects that have planted their seeds well and nurtured them will flourish. And those of you who have found, invested in, and been patient with those projects, your portfolios will flourish. This wrap is for all of you to reinforce the principles that I share that make all the difference in high returns. See you soon.
Came into this space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, right before you could, was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss, cause I always make the time in mind. I take the one out cause I'm patient like that, and I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't leave with my heart. Principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, got parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy, but with knowledge the game show. Sticking out this wrong can soon become a bear market. Learning and growing, and when it's slow will be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time, the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort, cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go of the hate, let the haters be cracking. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough, and that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.